Hello everyone, this is Kalyan and this is my third screencast, and today I am going to discuss about Sass, which is actually preprocessor of a CSS. So you may ask me questions like why will we be using Sass rather than using a simple CSS. So previously CSS experts actually praised to use multiple style sheets, like put your layout rules in one style sheet, your typography in another, your forms rules in yet another. This organization technique provides a way to handle large amount of styles, simplifies finding ones you need to edit, and makes it easy to identify where to place new styles. However, since the time we have learned that multiple server requests is a major performance bottleneck, the fewer requests a web page needs to make, the faster site performs. Now the rule of thumb is to put all your styles in a single external style sheet. So it seems we need to make a trade-off between our needs as a web designer and those of our site visitor. Fortunately, thanks to Sass, we can have the best of both worlds: multiple smaller module files for development and a single style sheet for productions. So this is the Sass site. So first of all, we know like how to install Sass and getting it work. So if you are in a Mac, so it's already having installed Ruby in your systems, but if you are in Windows, then you need to download the Ruby installer for Windows, which actually you will getting from here. You can install one of the package, and once you install the Ruby installer for Windows, then in a command prompt the gem install Sass you can trigger, and it will install the necessary Ruby gems in your systems. So once you get installed Sass, then you can open up your command line and you can check like what if it's working or not. So first of all, you can check with Sass the version. Yeah, it's working over here. So now what I'll do, I will create one folder over here, giving it a name of Sass. So I'm opening my ID. I'm creating a new project and selecting the folder. Yep. So the first thing is you need to create one file, and the file extensions need to be SCSS. So I'm going to create one file called style.scss. So the thing is, this is same like your CSS file, but the thing is you can do lots of things over here, like declaring a variables like JavaScripts, create functions, create mixins, and another thing is you can import different SCSS file into it. But when it's compiled, it will give you a single page of CSS file, CSS, and that CSS you can actually connect to your HTML page. Okay, so now I will show you like how to write your first line of code. So first I will start with the basic creating variables in your SCSS file. So to declare a variable, you need to start with the $, and then your variable name. Say first of all, I'm creating a variable for the color. So I'm creating one variable named VG color and giving a value of a black color. So to use this variable, simply write your CSS. Say I'm giving the variable, assigning the variable to in the body sections, and now say I'm creating background, and then I will be assigning that value over here. Okay, so as you can see, this is a CSS file, but in your HTML page you need to connect the CSS, right? So what you need to do, you need to compile with the Sass compiler, and so first I need to go to that folder with your command prompt Then in the command prompt you need to type Sass, then double dot, double line, watch your SCSS file name colon your output file name. So you can put any name actually, whatever you want. So I'm giving a name of style.css itself. Enter. So you can see like Sass is watching for changes. So whenever you do any changes in your SCSS file, it automatically get compiled into style.css file. So just you can do whatever changes in your file now and it will be getting compiled. So, so I'm just opening the CSS file which is actually outputted from that. So you can see what variables you declared. Actually it's came over here. Now to check, I am converting that variable, assigning the value of white, and go to your file. See, it's automatically get compiled because Sass is already watching your file for the changes. Whenever do any changes, you will be seeing that change detected and it will override your current CSS file. So next, the variable you can declare anything like number, string, anything over there. So next, say I'm going to create another variable called screen width, and I'm assigning a value of 900 pixels, and I'm getting another variable called sidebar, assigning a value of 200 pixels. Okay, so next what I'm going to create, I'm creating say a div with main and assigning a value width, and then I'm using the variable called screen width. Okay, and also again I'm creating another div called sidebar, and inside that I'm just assigning the value of width, then the sidebar width. Yeah. So now what I'm saved, and you can see there is error like bar with CR double E, there is a problem, sorry. So if you save it, and now you can see it's rendered correctly. So now say in the functions there is another that will be actually content div, and you need to check like the rest of the size of your content screen, whatever it will be. So you are creating another div called content, and you can do some maths over here. Like you can also do some kind of like the width will be say dollar screen width minus your dollar sidebar width. Okay, so when you save it, you can see okay. Yeah, so see it's automatically get like deducted from it 900 minus 200, so it's give you 700 px. So this is how you can actually define variables. Okay, so now the next step is like you can see in the main sections, inside the main there will be sidebar and content, but if you want some nesting over there, there is a good options in Sass. You can nest your CSS rules. So what you can do, you can just put these two styles inside the main, and it will give you some good nesting options. So what will happen when you save it with the file, you can see it will give you a good nesting, like say main and the main width. This is a single file, and then the main sidebar it will give you a width, and then main content with 700 pixels. It will give you a good amount of nesting over there. So this is how you can say in the content sections, inside the content you have an anchor tag. Okay, so in the anchor tag, I'm just nesting inside the anchor. So say the anchor is having a color of FFF. So again it will give you a nesting like main content A, and inside that color FFF. Okay, so now this is actually nesting, how it can nest your CSS styles. So another thing you can do, like say you need to create a hover class, okay, a pseudo class of anchor tag. So what you can do inside the anchor, you can just, this is a parent and the parent of this class is anchor. So what you can do, you can define and, so that means this defines to that anchor, and then hover, and the hover color will be red. That's it. So you can see like it will be rendered as a colon hover. Automatically it will get the parent and it's give you the correct CSS styles. Okay, now in SCSS we can use mixins. So mixins is like some functions that you can use to make it reusable. So I create once and you can use it in different CSS classes and IDs. So let's start to create one mixin. So mixins derivative start with @ symbols and then mixins, and then the mixin name. Say I'm create one mixin name called rounded. Okay, and inside that say I'm creating with it border radius, px. And say in the main content div we want to use this mixin. So what I need to do, actually just include the mixin name, that is rounded. That's it. So when you save your file, you can see that mixins get compiled. Okay, and you can see it's having right now getting these two things from the mixins. So anywhere, wherever you want these things, actually you don't need to write every time. You just include this mixins name and it will get copied from that mixins file. So right now this is something very static, like I'm putting this value over here. So if I want something that the same thing but with a different value, so how to create that? So in that case you can pass arguments like JavaScript over here also. So say I am passing an argument, say radius. The argument is to pass with the dollar value, and instead putting this hard-coded value, I'm just passing this radius. Now when we call these mixins, we can pass whatever value we want. Say I'm passing the value of 5px. Okay, so when I save, you can see right now I'm getting the same value but with 5px. And we can add another options, like if we not pass any value or parameter over here, it will get the default value. So in that case, actually I can just put the default value will be always 10 pixels, but if we pass some parameters over there, it will get that value from that. So right now we can see I'm sorry, it will be colon. So you can see the default value, it's taken 5px. What we have passed is 5px, but If we not pass any of the parameter over here, it will take the value from the default value and it will give you 10px. So that thing you can do, it's really intuitive thing, and you can use it anywhere, wherever you want, like the default value. But I'm giving the same thing, copying over here, and in the main and the sidebar I'm just using the same thing but with a value of 8px. Okay, so see here it's 8 pixel value, but it's here is the default value, as we have not passed any parameter over here. So this is mixing, and this can be reused every time wherever you want. Now as you can see, like our CSS file is going bigger, so in that case there is a thing is like how to maintain this bigger file, and it will be great like if you can just make different files and make our CSS more intuitive and manageable. So in that case, there in the CSS general CSS there is a imperative call import, but the problem is if you are using import, then for every different files it will give you a different HTTP request, but that is not correct good thing. So in Sass there is a good things like there is a call Parcels. You can use Parcels. So I'm showing you how to use parcel and what's the good things behind it. Say this is all our variables, so we can just create a new file called variable. So the file name should be with starting from underscore, and then say I'm giving a name of variable.css, and I'm just taking out the whole bunch from here and putting in the variable CSS file, saving it, and now we can just import that over here, like import, and then within a quote you can just put variable, and that's it. Actually it will take the variable from this variable CSS and compile in a single page. Just save it and check, like it's still working. Actually it's taking the variable from this variable CSS file. If you not give a underscore thing like Parcels, the name before underscores, what will happen? It will again create a variable.css file, but that's we actually don't want. We want to compile it directly into a single file, so that's why we have created this Parcel with a starting value of underscore. So again we can do the same thing for our mixins. We can just cut out this mixing part and create another file, and the name should be mixins or whatever you want, but that should be start from underscore and CSS, and pasting the same thing over here. And in the CSS file you can do the same thing, then @ import and the file name. See actually it's still working, the mixing part. And to check it, like you can check the default value of say 5px again, and see this is still working actually. But the thing is now your file is much cleaner. What all file different file we are using, it's in a different file, and you can do whatever changes you like over there. So that's a good part, and it's called Parcels in Sass. Okay, so now we are in between our code. So now say there may be needs where you can need to put some comments in your CSS. So in Sass actually there are two different type of comments you can use. One thing which will be printable in your compiled CSS file, and another which will not printable in your file. So first I will check what is not printable. Say to create comments that will not compiled into your CSS file, that will need to be start with // and then this is So when you save that, in the output you will not be able to see your comments, okay, but this will be still in your SCSS file. But if you want to compile your CSS, then you can use the simple directive of CSS comments, and that will be actually compiled to your CSS file. So you can see this is printed. Okay, so another thing I want to show you, like you maybe know about JavaScript inheritance, like you can inherit some of the class names and properties from that. So in Sass there is also a capability of inherit some properties from different class or IDs. So in that case, like say we say I'm creating one class, okay, so this is the class of test, and inside that class there is two properties, say one width, that is 200 pixel, and a background color of say $color, okay, and I have a different class that is just 2, but in this class I need the same thing from over here, so I don't need to write again, but the thing is rather than you taking the same thing, I need another thing which actually is different from this, say so what I can do, I can use extend, and then using the same case, okay, and what I need to separate, say there will be another property, like there will be a color value of 000. So what will happen when it's compiled? See, it's actually merge actually test2, the both having a same style, and what is the different, and it's giving in a separate line, only the color value is having difference, so it's in a second line. So that is really good, like say you have written a lots of lines of code and it is difficult to find out, so there is a similar thing which you can extend it and use it from that, so there is no necessary to write it again and again. So this is also a good thing of Sass. And to make there are lots of things actually there in Sass, so keep reading. Actually you can go to Sass reference page where you can get all the details of Sass, like this is the Sass reference page, and there are lots of things you can actually do with Sass, and in this short tutorial it's really difficult to go through all the details. So what I'll do, I will come up with a different things which is Compass in the next tutorial and next screencast, and I will show you how to use Compass and its capacity. So thanks for watching. Bye.